What's up everybody, my name is Xavier and in today's video we're talking the DJI Air 3 or the DJI Air 3S, whatever you want to call it. We are in the month of April, and in case you did not know, in 2020 April DJI released the Mavic Air 2, and in 2021 of April DJI released the Air 2S. So since then we have not seen or heard from the Air series. Who knows why? We haven't seen any leaks. We haven't seen anything yet. Here we are in 2023 and it's April and we're wondering, is there going to be an Air 3 or Air 3S? Well, buckle up because I have some potentially bad news for you. No, I don't work at DJI and I don't profess to know what's going on there, but I do think I know how DJI marketing team operates, and I think I know at least two reasons why you will not see the Air 3 or the Air 3S in April 2023, or you might not see it in the entire 2023. Or maybe there's some hope. Stick around to the end of this video. There's some hope for Christmas. But anyway, let's deep dive into the analytics and the marketing side of DJI to understand why aren't they keeping abreast with this April date and this April release for the new Air series. Since April 2021, DJI has come out with some really nice drones. It's not like they haven't been making or producing drones. Yes, they came out with the Mavic 3. Pretty pricey at close to $3,000, and a lot of people were complaining. So DJI also made a Mavic 3 Classic, which leaves out pretty much this telephoto camera right here, and you could save a couple $100. But still, the Mavic 3 and the Mavic 3 Classic is pretty expensive, both of them, and they're quite big and quite heavy compared to this the DJI also released. It's called the Mini 3 Pro, and this drone, not only is it small, not only is it lightweight, not only does it fly for a really long time, not only is it feature packed with things like hyperlapse and all the key features and pro features like obstacle avoidance, vertical video, vertical photo, vertical tracking. This drone is pretty much insane and priced nicely under $1,000. So one might think, is there really a need for the Air series? Is there really any competition between here? I mean, think about it. Let's go back even further. You have something like the DJI Mini 2, which is a really good drone. Prior to that, you have the DJI Mini SE or the Mavic Mini, both two good drones, right? They don't have a lot of range. They work on Wi-Fi, but they're still two good drones that are priced very affordably, like $200-300. And then you come up to the Mini 3, which is not a pro. It does have some features left out, like obstacle avoidance, like 10-bit decine-alike and stuff like that you won't get, like hyperlapse and stuff like that you won't get. But you could save $150-200, probably cheaper. And if you're not a professional or you don't need those features, that's a nicely priced drone too. And then you have the Mini 3 Pro, which can have both a heavier battery to take you over 250 grams if you really need extra battery life, or you use it with the sub 250 gram lightweight battery, and you'll still get a lot of flight time and a ton of features, and you don't even have to register this drone. And it's got so much features. So what kind of sits after that, right? After this comes basically the Air 2S. That's what's filling the gap. So you probably have the Air 2S here, and then you have the Mavic 3 Classic, and then you have the Mavic 3. That's pretty much the lineup, and it looks like DJI has filled that gap. And the Air 2S is no slouch. It has 10-bit D-Log. It's got HLG, Hyperlog Gamma. It's got a lot of powerful features packed into that camera. It can do the waypoints and all the other cool features. And it's relatively light. It's not as heavy as this, even though it's not as light as this. It kind of sits right in the middle. Sounds like the perfect drone, right? But that drone has one major drawback, and that's battery life. And that's probably the primary reason that that drone needs an upgrade. It's not really the camera, it's just that it doesn't fly that long. And it could be the perfect all-around drone, because this, people might say, is too heavy. This people might say is too light or too small and can't take the wind and stuff like that. But that Air series might be that one and only drone that you can do everything with, if it only had more battery life. So yes, do I think it needs an upgrade? And an upgrade should come in April? Yes, I do believe it. But just because you believe there's a gap to be filled doesn't mean that DJI is going to fill it up. Unless, two reasons. Reason number one, there's competition, right? Stop and think about it. Is there any other competition to fill that gap right here? A lot of you might be thinking that this drone fills the gap, right? The Autel Lite or the Autel Lite Plus. One of these two drones fills the gap. It's not as big and as heavy as the Mavic 3, and it's not as small as light as the Mini 3 or the Mini 3 Pro, so it sits right in between, right? It's got great battery life. It's got a 1-inch sensor and a really good camera. It shoots log. It can fly and take off anywhere your heart desires. It's got carbon fiber arms. This has got sensors in the front and rear. This is definitely better than the Air 2S and would fill the gap, right? Why would DJI allow them to come and take the competition? Well, they're competitive, but they're not that competitive. But before we even go into Autel, let's establish that there is nothing else remotely close to fill this gap except these Autel drones. And they don't quite fill the gap because DJI has a lot more going for it than just a drone with a really good camera. The hyperlapse features is what people love. The waypoint features is what people love with this drone. It is jam-packed with a ton of autonomous features and capabilities. And not only is it jam-packed, like the tracking and stuff like that, not only is it jam-packed with it, but it works really well. And that's where Autel kind of falls by the wayside, because these features that a lot of people like and a lot of people crave and a lot of people pay money for, Autel doesn't have them, and the ones that they do don't really work that well. They're not as refined and not as reliable as you would find it on the DJI drones, and that's why this doesn't really fit the gap well. The other reason why this doesn't fit the gap well, and I'm going to have to put you aside, is because DJI, all of DJI's new drones, even the old Air 2S, can work with this new controller with built-in screen, so you can stand up in direct sunlight. It's very bright. Not only that, it's light. You don't have to be fiddling with your phone. You can fly it with that. If you want to save some money and you want a budget-friendly option, you can pretty much fly any one of the new DJI drones with this, which is a stock controller, and you'll save some money. You don't have to pay the extra couple $100 for this, and you can fly as a casual hobbyist and use your phone. And even if you want to take it a step further, any of these DJI drones, including the old Air 2S, can fly with this Pro controller in case you want to take things up a notch and decide, I'm going to do my own business, or I'm going to look for my own jobs, and I want something professional with HDMI output that I can show clients and share my screen and stuff like that, and I need something heavy and robust with tons of customizable buttons and stuff like that. DJI has all the options available to you. So it comes back to ecosystem, right? Why do people like Apple stuff so much? Because there's the watch, there's the iPad, there's the iPhone, there's the laptops, the MacBooks, there's even the desktops. So Apple has an entire ecosystem, and everything is just seamlessly seems to interconnect with each other. And that's what DJI has done by manufacturing these three controllers and making them compatible with pretty much any new drone out there. And that's what really, really rules out this Autel drone. Even though it's a nice drone, they're just losing a lot of appeal to a wider range of people, unfortunately. And why is this important? Because I think DJI recognizes that DJI knows that, and then DJI knows that people will do a little bit of research and they will quickly find out about the compatibility issues. They will quickly find out that when they do decide to buy this, if they ever upgrade to this, they can keep their controller, or there's a couple of controllers that they can choose from in case they want to upgrade later on. So that whole connectivity process, I think, is what has DJI not worried about Autel filling the gap. And if Autel can't fill that gap, no one else can, pretty much, at this particular point. Because who's even coming remotely close? Who? Let me know in the comment section below, because I can't think of any other brand. So based on that, I feel like DJI knows they have it locked. And even though it's April, there's no rush to release that drone. And which brings me into the second reason that I think DJI is probably not going to release the Air series this year, or if they do, they will release it around Christmas time. What happens around Christmas time? People get their bonuses, people go out, they buy gifts, they spend money. If you look at the economy right now and just pay attention to the economy, you'll see that the United States government, at least here in the US, is trying to cool down the economy. It's too hot. They're raising interest rates in order to tame inflation. They want people to spend less. They don't want to encourage spending. They want to bring down inflation more. So that means that they have to raise interest rates, and that will make money more expensive to borrow and just harder to get in general. People might start losing their jobs and stuff like that, banks failing. All of that is a consequence of tightening up the economy and trying to get things to cool off, house prices, and just trying to get people to spend less. So DJI is looking at that. That's all part of marketing, and they're saying, at least in the United States, they're not encouraging spending right now. Whether people are spending or not, that's a different story, but they want the spending to slow down a little bit. Maybe now is not the time, being that there's no competition. Why rush? Why don't we wait till Christmas when everybody's doing their shopping, and then bam, maybe release it then? Or just have people choose from what we have. We have a great lineup. We have the Mini 2, the Mini 3, the Mini 3 Pro. The Air 2S is old, but it's still connectable to all the different controllers. Let them pay for that. And it's priced right, even though it doesn't have a long battery life. Let's keep selling the Air 2S. It's a great drone even today. Stop and think about it, right? So DJI is probably saying let them do that. And if they don't want that and they want something newer, but they don't want to spend $3,000 on the Mavic 3, they can look at the Classic, the Mavic 3 Classic. There you go, save a couple $100, and you get the omnidirectional obstacle avoidance, you get the long battery life, you get the waypoints, you get the 4/3 camera, you get all the main features of the Mavic 3 without the telephoto lens, and you save some money. So step up and buy that. We can push these airframes and sell these more. As a matter of fact, I believe that if DJI is going to release any new drone, they're probably going to use this same airframe right here, because when they released it first, I don't think they did the release properly. The drone wasn't fully ready, and the sales that they expected or hoped for just wasn't there. So if anything, DJI is going to touch up the same drone and bring out something new. But I don't think we will see the Air series. That's my take on the whole thing. That's the way I analyze it. I've been following DJI and looking at their marketing strategies. Sometimes they've surprised me. Sometimes I've been right. I don't work for DJI. I don't know this as a fact. But I'd sure like to hear your opinion down in the comment section below. Let me know what you guys think. Do you think there's even a need for Air 3 or Air 3S now that we have the Mavic 3 Classic and the Mini 3 Pro being such a feature-packed drone? Do you think there's really a need? Or DJI should just sell what they have? Or do you think that Air 3 and Air 3S should come out? And if you do think it should, what features are you looking for that DJI does not already have in their current lineup? But you let me know in the comment section what you think DJI should release. All right, with that being said, guys, I hope this video was helpful. If you're thinking about buying a drone, I would say there are a ton of really nice feature-packed drones on the market right now with top-notch cameras I don't know if it's worth sticking around or waiting. Who knows what DJI is releasing next. There are rumors of an Inspire drone coming, so there might be an Inspire coming if you're interested in that, but that's not going to be nowhere in this budget or even this budget. By the time you're finished spending on an Inspire drone, which is a professional series, you're probably $10,000 to $20,000 in. And unless you're willing to spend that on a drone, I wouldn't stick around and wait and hope for anything else. Make sure you give this video a huge thumbs up. Make sure you hit subscribe, hit the bell so you get notified when I release new videos. Let me know what your drone plans are. You're going to stick with what you have, you're going to buy something new, or you're going to wait it out. With that being said, I will catch you guys, well, whenever I can. Make sure you become a Patreon, guys. Big benefits to Patreon. Get direct access to me. Any questions? I'm right here on Patreon. Support this channel, and there's benefits. Last Mini 2 went all the way to the UK.